Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Healthcare Consumerism Radio. This is Brent Macy, Managing Director for the Institute for Healthcare Consumerism, along with Doug Field, CEO and founder of the Institute for Healthcare Consumerism. And we've got a great guest coming up on this segment, Steve Costello, who's the principal and founder of CBG Benefits. Welcome to the program, Steve.
Hey, thank you, Brent and Doug. Appreciate your having me on today.
Oh, it's going to be great. Now, Steve, kind of give our audience a little bit of a background on CBG Benefits.
So CBG Benefits is a boutique kind of consulting and brokerage shop in the Boston area, started about 15 years ago by myself and my brother Chris, who were kind of both former group insurance reps. We each had worked in various parts of the country. Chris was in Detroit. I was in Dallas, Texas. And we both decided at some point to kind of return back home to Massachusetts and had a real good background with our kind of carrier-based approach, seeing what other brokers and consultants were doing in the marketplace, and kind of figured when we started our own business that, we had a real good handle on what we thought would be important to provide to our clients. So that's essentially what we did.
So today, Steve, obviously, brokers and advisors have been much maligned until I think the last year or so that kind of the tide has turned and everyone says, hey, they're pretty relevant and they're needed in this equation, which we agree with. So, hats off to the progressive groups like yourself. So tell me what you see, your customers, where are their pain points and what are you trying to do to help them around, changing their plans, providing good quality, benefits at a good cost?
So, you're 100% correct. I think with the kind of the full rollout of ACA, initially everyone was sort of concerned about brokers becoming less relevant, but I think you're correct in assuming and knowing that, in fact, brokers are more relevant than ever. Mm-hmm. Our clients not only rely on us to educate their employees, but also keep them up to speed on, just the myriad of compliance issues that are thrown at them every single day. Mm-hmm. So what we've been doing is kind of a creative approach to, benefit plan design. Here in the Northeast, in particular, HMOs have been very significant in our marketplace. So we've been really implementing strategies to help consumerism, to help drive plan design changes that our clients can realize some savings on. So in addition to, looking at some self-funded options even for smaller groups, to using kind of a wrap approach, which is essentially an HRA that allows the employer to kind of play within the confines of an HMO and use some real specific strategies that we've developed to help employees really save money, because when you start to look at those huge deductibles that employees are facing as they move towards more of an HSA plan, they realize that they need to be engaged more than ever in their decision buying and support of how they're purchasing their health care, where they get their care from, and what's the most affordable way to do that. And we've developed real specific strategies on how to help employers do that.
Now, Steve, we always see the news out there that, if you look at some of the studies that, the consumer-directed health plans are the ones that are actually increasing out there in the marketplace, where all the more what I refer to as more the traditional plans are either staying flat, maybe decreasing a little bit. When you're talking with your clients around the consumer-directed health plans specifically, what's their feedback? Are they, opposed to it? Are they embracing of the consumer-directed health plans? What's kind of their mood?
It's different. Many clients kind of have still the mentality of they want to provide the richest possible benefits, and I think sometimes consumer-driven plans have kind of a negative connotation where employees are really being stuck with essentially higher co-pays, higher out-of-pocket expenses. So we have mixed reactions, but I think as kind of a consultant and broker, what our main goal is, and my goal personally is, I don't want to have my clients give an insurance company one nickel more than they actually need to. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So the challenge is some of the smaller employers that really aren't sharing in their positive claims experience. Our goal is to help find strategies and prove to them that by making simple plan modifications, not only can they still provide a very solid benefit package that really is comprehensive and provides fantastic coverage for employees and their families, but it's also can be an affordable way to save money. So once we kind of demonstrate how that can be done and all of the support tools that go along with that, they're easily convinced, and the proof's in the pudding, especially when it comes to, years 2 and 3 of rolling out a strategy that is a strategy that's simply not a one-year strategy and wait till next year. It's kind of a well-thought-out 3-4 year process as far as what we would like them to be doing.
And I think you alluded to it earlier, Steve, around healthcare consumerism and, CDH plans, is that you're getting the consumer involved, and is that not one of the most important things that has been needed in this space? I mean, the missing link for the last 20 years has been that consumer. You got a three-legged stool, and that is that employee consumer. And yes, there is some cost shifting involved, but if you have smart employers with their advisors are developing a more full-rounded program, including that health management piece, you're really helping employees and their families become better consumers of health and healthcare, and that's a better end game, is it not?
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, we've seen just engaging employees by using, some real strategic communication tools that we have to, lay out a complete strategy. And then on the back end, having the tools that you can deliver to an employee where, you're not leaving them kind of in the lurch. There are so many plans now that have, hospital co-insurance differs by which hospital you choose. So to leave that up to an employee at the time that they need service the most is really kind of doing a disservice to them. So what we've done on the front end is educate and then show and demonstrate by incenting employees to make correct decisions. A simple thing like, an 800 MD telemed. Uh-huh. So on average, 70% of office visits can be handled over the telephone. So, if you look at kind of a weighted average cost of an office visit, $240 per visit. Yeah. With telemed, we're seeing a $38 telephonic interaction that if an employee is paying the deductible or a large portion of the out-of-pocket expense initially, giving them a much more affordable option to have that care delivered over the phone when it's something as simple and basic as getting a prescription refilled. They don't have to take time out of their workday. They don't have to schedule something 3-4 weeks out in advance. And you guys know better than I how long it takes to get in to see the doctor these days. So simple tools like that can really help an employee understand, how to make better buying decisions.
And I think it's being proved right now in the early stages too, Steve, that on telehealth that they're going for care earlier too. They're not waiting because they're worried about that visit to the doctor and what that would cost, or even if they're traditionally go to the emergency room when they shouldn't, but go to the emergency room, for things. Now they're picking up the phone, and so there's a quality of care issue here too.
Yep, no question about it. You're right. When they see that sticker shock of the $3,000, $4,000 right. deductible on the front end, and you can assure them that they're going to receive quality of care by, enacting a couple of simple steps that we've put in place. It really does help with quality of care for sure.
Well, Steve, I can't let you off the air with this segment without talking about private healthcare exchanges and private marketplaces, and get your feedback there. And I know I'm interested to learn more about. You just announced a partnership with Maxwell Health that does some very unique things in this space. So, talk a little bit about what you see evolving around these private healthcare marketplaces and what you see, with coming out of your relationship with Maxwell Health.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and I do appreciate you folks promoting our press release regarding the partnership with Maxwell Health. So our founding and kind of our mission early on was really to provide technology and find technology tools that help enhance our customers' experience, not provide technology for the sake of providing it. So what we've done is recognizing, all the promotion and the talk and discussion in the marketplace around private exchanges. We said, look, we need to be providing our clients and customers with an opportunity to purchase benefits that are important to them. So our philosophy and motto is really buy what you need. So I think a lot of employers have historically sort of said, okay, I need to not only provide health insurance, but I'm going to pay for LTD, STD, and life insurance, and you name it. But the reality is, what we're trying to do is allow our employers to say, you don't have to make those buying decisions. So we're here to help support that. And by using Maxwell Health, for us, it's an incredible tool simply because not only are they right in our own backyard, from a technology platform standpoint, it is really the most versatile in terms of an employee enrollment and engagement. So on the front end, a simple employee enrollment experience, we're able to plug in products that do not have kind of participation requirements. So you can use a Guardian or a Unum product, and the platform is built out. So we'll help the client determine, the best products that need to go into the marketplace. But there's no requirement of participation, so you kind of get over that stumbling block of, well, if it doesn't fly, then it's kind of a big waste of time. And we've really developed a strategy with Maxwell to say, hey, that's not a problem. Yeah. And on the back end, we're really, what you're trying to do is engage your employees going forward are using, their web and mobile-enabled apps for, everything from the health advocate service where an employee may get an explanation of benefits that needs a little more explanation. So, by simply snapping a picture of it on the mobile phone and emailing it off to Health Advocate, they can get an answer in turnaround time in terms of, yes, this is part of your deductible, or even second opinions can come from that. So that's been really helpful for us.
Hey, Steve, we got about a minute left on the program, and kind of want to let you kind of look into your crystal ball, with your traditional business around the consumer-directed health plans and how you're helping your customers there, and then the exchange piece. Where do you see this market over the next 3 to 5 years, and then let our audience know how they can find you?
I think it seems like you may have another guest coming up that's really focusing on what I think is going to be the trend is more of that defined contribution approach.
Yep.
And I do think that's where I see the marketplace and the products that are going to be offered kind of going. For us, it's definitely a scenario where employers are getting squeezed in every direction, and from a compliance standpoint, we're able to provide the solutions. We're able to let them rely on us heavily. But I think, from a benefit standpoint, I'm pretty certain that, every indication is, how can I reduce my costs? How can I fix my costs? How can I set my budget at a reasonable level? And I think that's kind of what we're going to see and sort of how I see the market playing out. And we're in the Boston area, up in Woburn, Massachusetts. And if anyone wants to contact me, I can be reached at 781-759-1222 or cbgbenefits.com.
Hey, Steve, we really appreciate you joining us on the program today. Have a great weekend up there. And to the rest of our audience, stay tuned for the next segment of Healthcare Consumerism Radio.